Throughout the annals of history, there have been countless civilizations that rose to greatness, only to vanish into the mists of time. These lost civilizations captivate our imagination, leaving behind enigmatic ruins and tantalizing clues about their existence. Today, we embark on a journey to explore the top 10 lost civilizations that have mystified historians and archaeologists for centuries. So before we get started, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to my channel. 1. The Maya. The Mayans are acclaimed for being a sophisticated society, and for things like inventing the number 0 1,000 years before the concept had entered the European mind. By 600 CE, the Maya had built thousands of cities around Central America, which makes their disappearance all the more puzzling. What was a bustling and dynamic society can be dated as beginning to decline in the 8th and 9th centuries by archaeologists. While experts can date when the cities were abandoned, they cannot agree on a conclusion as to why this happened. Drought, foreign invasion, collapse of trade routes, and disease are all theories. 2. The lost colony of Roanoke. In 1587, a group of 115 English settlers landed on Roanoke Island, off the coast of modern-day North Carolina. After a few months, it was agreed that the colony's new governor, John White, would sail back to England for supplies. White arrived in England just as a major naval war broke out, and Queen Elizabeth I seized all available ships to help in the cause against the Spanish Armada. When White arrived back to Roanoke Island 3 years later in 1590, he found the colony completely abandoned. There was no sign of the settlers other than a tree with the name Croatoan carved into it. Croatoan was the name of an island and the Native American tribe that inhabited it, causing some experts to believe that they were abducted and killed. However, that theory is yet to be proven. Others hypothesize that they tried to sail back to England unsuccessfully, or were killed by Spanish settlers who were traveling north from Florida. 3. Indus Valley Civilization. The Indus Valley Civilization, also known as the Harappan Civilization, thrived from around 2600 BC to 1900 BCE in what is now Pakistan and northwest India. It was one of the earliest urban civilizations with a sophisticated society and advanced infrastructure. The ruins of this once prosperous civilization can be found across a vast area in and around the floodplains of the Indus River. Archaeological excavations have revealed well-planned cities with advanced architecture, including intricate drainage and sewage systems. The Indus Valley people were skilled in craftsmanship, producing beautiful pottery, jewelry, and figurines. They had a system of writing, known as the Indus script, although it has not yet been fully deciphered. At its peak around 2500 BCE, the Indus Valley Civilization exhibited signs of social, economic, and cultural prosperity. However, around 1900 BCE, the cities began to decline, and people started abandoning them. 4. Easter Island. Easter Island is famous for its massive head statues, called moa. They were made by the Rapa Nui people, who experts think traveled to the island in the middle of the South Pacific using wooden outrigger canoes around 800 CE. It's estimated the island's population was around 12,000 at its peak. The first time European explorers landed on the island was on Easter Sunday in 1722, when the Dutch crew estimated that there were 2,000 to 3,000 inhabitants on the island. Explorers reported fewer and fewer inhabitants as the years went on, until eventually the population dwindled to less than 100. No one can agree on a definitive reason as to what caused the decline of the island's inhabitants or its society. It is likely that the island couldn't sustain enough resources for such a large population, which led to tribal warfare. Inhabitants could have also starved, as evidenced by the remains of cooked rat bones found on the island. 5. Cahokia. Cahokia is known as America's Forgotten City. It was a bustling Native American civilization in modern-day Illinois. It is estimated to have supported a population of 10,000 to 20,000 and have spanned over 6 square miles at its peak during 1050 to 1200 CE. The city inhabitants lived in mounds that were all abandoned by 1400, far before Columbus or any European explorers had come to the New World. No one knows for sure why the city was abandoned, but overhunting, deforestation, disease, and flooding are all suspected. 6. Angkor Wat. Today, the ruins of the Kingdom of Angkor is the biggest tourist attraction in Cambodia, and the filming location for films like Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. It was at its height of power around the 12th century, when it controlled much of modern Southeast Asia. In fact, it's the largest pre-industrial society known to date. The kingdom was at its most prosperous and powerful around 1000 to 1200 CE. However, by 1500, the entire city had been abandoned and began being taken over by the jungle. Again, scholars can't agree as to why the city fell, but theories include war with a neighboring kingdom, religious disputes, natural disaster, and neglect of public works. 7. The Lost City of Petra. The Lost City of Petra was a bustling metropolis around the same time Christ lived. Carved into the cliffs of the Jordanian desert, the remains still draw tourists by the thousands. The city was the center of a kingdom 4 times the size of modern Jordan and had a sophisticated water management system. Archaeologists estimate that people began to abandon the city around the 7th and 8th centuries. It was relatively untouched for centuries until Western explorers discovered it in the 1800s. It's thought that various natural disasters, such as flash floods and earthquakes, forced the city's inhabitants to leave, but there is no definitive evidence. 8. The Olmec Civilization. The Olmec Civilization, considered one of the earliest major civilizations in Mesoamerica, emerged around 1100 BCE in the region along the Gulf of Mexico. While much of their architectural structures have disappeared over time, the iconic Olmec carved heads endure as a testament to their existence. However, the archaeological evidence for the Olmecs abruptly ends around 300 BCE, leaving behind numerous mysteries about their ultimate fate. One notable aspect of the Olmec civilization is the lack of preserved graves or skeletal remains, making it challenging to ascertain the exact reasons behind their disappearance. Without such evidence, historians and archaeologists have put forth various theories to explain their demise. One leading theory suggests that internal conflicts or civil war within Olmec society contributed to their downfall. Evidence of violence and destruction in some Olmec sites indicates the possibility of societal unrest and conflict. 9. Terra Preta. The Spanish conquistadors wrote home telling of cities made from gold and vast civilizations in the Amazon. However, the explorers who followed them years later found no sign of human life in the thick jungle. Now, satellite imagery has proven that there might be some truth to the myth. The photos reveal evidence of large structures and even agricultural systems in the jungle. These people were one with the river, and their villages were often called garden cities. However, there was no obvious evidence of them centuries ago, and it is assumed that they were wiped out by disease brought over by explorers looking for El Dorado. 10. Aksumite Empire. The Aksumite Empire was a trading center located in modern Ethiopia. It is also home to the Queen of Sheba and was at its peak of power around the 1st century CE. The city that once traded with all of Africa, and potentially the known world at the time, began declining around the 7th century. Some experts think that it was climate change, but others think the city was defeated by Judith, a Jewish queen, and her invading army. What do you think of our video? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button. Also subscribe to our channel before you go. Thank you for watching.